Hey everyone, it is William here from the UpViral team. And today I'm joined here by a very special guest. So today we have Kurt Frankham in the house, who is the executive director at Leading Saints, who will explain us in a bit everything about Leading Saints. So Kurt, I think you're based in Utah, is that right? If my memory serves me right.
That's right, just outside of Salt Lake City, Utah. And awesome to be
Super.
here. Thanks for having me, William.
All right. No, it's our pleasure to have you. So Kurt has been generating some exceptional results with UpViral that catched our attention here to the UpViral team. And we reached out to Kurt via email. I had a chat with him. I think it was a couple of weeks ago. He explained more in detail about his success and how he's achieving. He has like over 45,000 leads in your account, I think at the present moment. And he uses always like a very similar strategy. And that's how he's been accumulating this amount of leads for Leading Saints. And he's going to reveal all the details, all the secrets with us today here on this live interview. So first of all, Kurt, I want to sincerely say thank you for being here. Thank you for taking the time to join this interview and to share your wisdom with the UpViral community. So are you ready?
Sure. I'm happy to help.
Super. Let's dive in. So the first thing that, Kurt, I think would be good to do is if you can share, like before we dive into the nitty-gritty of the campaign, how it all worked and the strategy you used, why don't you give the audience like an overview about your business? What is Leading Saints and what do you guys do?
Yeah, so as many marketers know, niches are a powerful target to have in any marketing effort or organization or online platform. And so Leading Saints is a niche of a niche. So basically I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Most people know us as Mormons. You see us on our bikes with the black name tags. I was that guy for 2 years in Sacramento, California. It's traditional that Latter-day Saints serve those missions. And like I said, a lot of people refer to us as Mormons, but if you really want to get it on our good side, refer to us as Latter-day Saints, and we just love that. So we're trying to get rid of the Mormon branding, but that's a long effort there. And so one unique aspect of our religion is that we have a lay ministry. So that means we don't have like priests or pastors that go to years and years of theology school or seminary and get degrees in, Hebrew Bible or anything, and then they later become priests or pastors. So that's not how we do it. We have a lay ministry where anybody in an area of our congregation, which we call wards, anybody in our wards or congregations can be called to serve as the pastor. And we might call them bishop or a stake president. And so I was a 28-year-old marketing grad. I was living in downtown Salt Lake City. And one day they called me and they said, Kurt, we want you to serve as the bishop of this congregation. And it's a 5-year assignment. And would you accept that? And I'm thinking, wow, I'm a young guy. I don't have a lot of experience in leading a congregation, or I'm not a Bible expert by any means, but sure, I'll do it. And so what happens is that we have this community, this church full of lay pastors, you could say, who don't have any specific leadership experience. So I created Leading Saints to sort of be a platform to talk with that leadership audience in our church about leadership principles. And we do that through a podcast. We have online articles, we do live events, and then we do virtual conferences, which will play into a lot of what we do here. And then I'm able to capture an audience worldwide of Latter-day Saint leaders who are striving to be better prepared to lead. And we're a nonprofit organization that does this. And we talk with really any English-speaking Latter-day Saint leader across the world, everywhere from I've interviewed people all across the United States, even bishops and leaders in Spain, right down in
Oh,
your neighborhood
awesome.
there, William. So, and we just try and figure out what are the best leadership principles that we could put in place to help us lead better, and obviously promote a Christian life and help individuals find peace and encouragement in our faith tradition. So did I lose you anywhere along there?
No. That's a very, very good overview about leading saints and about what you guys do. I find it like really interesting, and it's oftentimes the case, right, for entrepreneurs or business owners, or in your case, a nonprofit, that you basically start a business, start a nonprofit, start a project based on a pain that you've gone through yourself. So you basically explained how, at the age of 20, I believe, you had to lead a church, right? And you didn't have that
28.
much experience. Yep. 28, yeah. So you didn't have that much experience or knowledge on how to actually do that. So that was a real challenge for you at the time. And because you went through that pain, because you went through that struggle, you discovered the opportunity of creating a nonprofit organization that would support other people that are basically in your shoes moving forward. So an organization that you didn't have, I imagine, back then, right?
Nope, I had to go out and create it myself. So
yeah. So that's amazing. Cool. And so what made you use UpViral? So what problem did you have, or what did you want to achieve?
Yeah. So obviously running a nonprofit, fundraising is always at the top of the priority list, right? Like no vision, no matter how dynamic, can be done without some good funding. So I needed to figure out ways to fundraise. And of course, there's the traditional methods, which we still do, that, we go out and find individuals who maybe have additional funds or who are more wealthy and say, hey, write us a check, help us fund our mission. And that works to some extent. But I also want to be, I have a degree in marketing. It's my background. And so I always want to exchange value for value. I don't just want to beg for money or, in order to run our organization. So I thought, what could I do to exchange value for value? And just throughout, I'm always keeping up to speed as much as I can with different marketing efforts, and even in the for-profit world. And I learned more and more about this concept of virtual summits. And so I thought, I could do that. We talked a variety of topics, and maybe we could take one specific topic that a lot of leaders struggle with in our faith community, and then we'll create a virtual summit around it, do a deep dive with different guests and speakers, and that would be very valuable to have. And I'll walk away with with a library of content that we can continue to use in the future. And I'm always talking with other marketing individuals, and one of my friends who's way smarter than me with marketing suggested UpViral. And I had never heard of UpViral at that point. This was
I love your friend.
I mean, we at this point, yeah, right. So at this point, I've done 9 of these virtual summits, but this was, I think I had attempted one before and it didn't go well, but it was sort of a crash course. I thought this isn't necessarily going to be super profitable. I'm just going to jump in and figure it out. And yeah, it wasn't super profitable. I think I broke even, but that was sort of my first go around. And then the second one I did, my friend told me about UpViral and how it worked. And so I thought, this sounds exactly the type of thing I could use and benefit from. So I, created an account with UpViral and started building a campaign. And in order to encourage people to not only sign up for the virtual summit, but then go invite their friends to sign up for the virtual summit. So that's kind of where it got started.
Okay. So basically the first virtual summit was about like break even, and then the second one where you implemented UpViral, recommended by your friend, that did much better than the first one.
Yeah. So I'm trying to even remember. I can't remember the revenue of the first one, but the second one, I remember by the time we had launched it, or by the time the virtual summit started, we already raised $15,000 to $20,000 somewhere in there, and that was like, I think
Wow.
the whole total cost of it was a couple $1,000, and so I was like, wow, this is really fundraising and working. And UpViral played a huge role in that, just to encourage people so easily to say, hey, go out and invite your friends and get them to this, and we'll make it worth your while. So
Okay, so 2K in investment in spend, which you will take us through later on during this interview, that led to $15,000 to $20,000 in profits, which is amazing, and all because your friend referred you to UpViral, or at least that was
right.
part of it, right? I think everyone
Yeah.
should have a friend like yours. Everyone should have a friend that
I
recommends
agree.
That would be great. Cool. So virtual summits is basically your go-to strategy when you use UpViral to raise funds for leading saints. So how often do you do these virtual summits for leading saints? Is this like once a month, once a year?
Yeah. So they typically, I think in some years I've done as many as 3 virtual summits. Just with other projects, that hasn't been the case, even though I'm trying to systematize everything more and more so that I can do at least 3 or 4 every year. So that's as often as we do it.
Okay. Excellent. And then basically people who refer others, do they get anything in exchange of referring other friends? Is there something that you give them, a bonus? Talk us about the campaign mechanics. Take us through it.
Yeah. So the the nature of the virtual summits is that they're free for anybody to attend. Obviously they're virtual.
Yeah.
People attend them from
Sorry
all
to
over the
interrupt,
world.
Cord.
And
While you
yeah,
share this, I'm going to be sharing my screen as well, so that the audience who's watching can
okay,
follow us as you take us through it. So please continue.
cool. Yeah, so this is the landing page. I think I just used I just used ClickFunnels to build the landing pages. And so the idea is, like it says, register for free. And a lot of people, think that's strange to do, because like, well, if you're giving this away for free, how do you make money? But there's a variety of ways to make money with this. And like I said, the revenue is awesome. So they come to this page, they see different speakers, the topics they're going to speak on, everything from depression, anxiety. This is one was called the Mentally Healthy Saints, where we did a deep dive on how can leaders in our church help people with mental health, especially those that struggle with mental illness. And so a lot of PhDs, a lot of awesome speakers, authors, other leaders in our church that have a lot of experience with it. And so they come to this, so they say, this is awesome. I definitely want to attend. And thankfully it's for free. So then they click on the register for free. They just put in their email address. And as many marketers know, and I always tell this to people, before you can ask anybody for money, you have to ask them for their email address, because email is a form of currency online. And we've been able to, our current list is close to 30,000 emails, and a lot of that's been generated from these virtual summits. And so they put in their email address, and then they go to the next page, as you'll see here. The next page is a page, sort of I guess you could call it an upsell page, but it basically says, hey, even though the virtual conference is free, it's only going to be available for a short period of time. And so we would love it if you donated, and you could receive, if you donate, you receive an all access pass. And I think we started, before this summit, I think we do like $59 price point, and then it kind of increases as it goes, just to encourage people to act right away. And then we explain all the value they get. And so a lot of people will then at this point donate and get an all access pass, or they can click the no thanks, I'll stick with the free pass. So So a lot of
Okay.
people do that, right? They say, no, thanks, I'll stick with the free pass. And then that takes them to the page where UpViral shows its value.
Okay. Okay. So thank you. More info is in your
Yep.
inbox. Watch the 3 sessions now. Want to get the all access pass for free? Get 5 people to sign up for the free summit ticket and earn an all access pass. Okay. That's amazing. So I see what
here
you're
it
saying
is.
here.
Yeah. So they've signed at this point, they've signed up for free. They haven't spent any money. But then I say, hey, if you want to get an all access pass for free, why don't you take this link and go share it? And if 5 people sign up through the link, then you'll get a free all access pass. And that's exactly what many do. And then I'm just watching my UpViral, dashboard, just the links that or the referrals and leads that just flow in, and it's awesome. And many of those leads then upgrade and then actually make the payment, and then then we generate revenue that way. And then there's some people who do pay for the all access pass, but then they also go share the link, and if they get 5 people to sign up, then we refund them the payment they did, and everybody's happy. So
Okay. So I see what you do. So it is free virtual summit. So in summary, it's a free virtual summit. Everyone can sign up for it. Then there is an upsell page where they can basically get an all access pass for $79. Some people will donate and they will take the all access pass. Some people will skip it. And then if they skip it, it basically says, hey, you can still get an all access pass if you get 5 people to sign up to the free event. Then that way they can still make it. And for those who upgrade to the all access pass, you still share with them the possibility of getting a refund of their donation if they get 5 people to sign up. So that is, in summary, the entire campaign laid out. Is that correct, or did I miss anything?
Yeah, that's it. Pretty basic. And really, I'm not, sometimes I'll listen to different marketing interviews or people using tools like UpViral, and the individual who does these campaigns sounds like a genius, right? They've like tapped into some algorithm and they've got like spreadsheets all over, and they're, tying these all together. It just seems overwhelming. I am not that person. And that's the beauty of UpViral, being so easy to put a campaign together and use, is that really I'm not, I've got a marketing background. I understand the general principles, but sometimes I'll get lost in the details, but this really makes it easy so that really anybody could do a similar campaign like this.
Yeah. And I'm curious to know, Kurt, so you have these virtual summits. With how many days in advance do you start promoting the virtual summit?
Yeah. So usually it's sort of a 3-month cycle. So I'll have the first month, I'm sort of brainstorming, figuring out who the speakers are, starting to put together the landing pages and the copy and whatnot. And then we start inviting speakers. And then the second month of that, we are, I'm doing all the interviews, because all the presentations pre-recorded. So it's nice to get that out of the way. And then they're all ready to be shown by the time the summit launches. And then the last month of this 3-month cycle is sort of the big marketing push. So that's when we're encouraged, 2 or 3 weeks out. I guess I've tried different things. Sometimes I'll do like 10 to 15 days before the virtual summit starts is when I really start to push it. And then that way people know the date, they know, they're signing up and they're promoting it that way. And then people still share the link and promote it even after it started. And then the nature of it, just to clarify, this is like the day that the virtual summit starts, we may have like 20 speakers recorded. And then the day it starts, we show 2 presentations a day, or we post 2 presentations a day that are available for free for 24 hours. And so, no matter where you're at in the world, people have 24 hours to watch those sessions, and then the next day they're replaced with 2 new sessions. So if they don't have the virtual or the all access pass, they're like always trying to keep up with the sessions, which they have plenty of time to look or to listen to it. But if they get behind, then they're more prone to donate and gain all access, or they'll be more motivated to go out and share their UpViral link.
Yeah. Okay. And so 2 a day, and you mentioned you have 20 different presentations, right, on a virtual summit. Yeah. So does that mean every summit you do is 10 days?
Yeah, it kind of varies. It seems like most virtual summits I do last about 14 days, give or take. So.
Okay. All right. And so how many of these virtual summits have you done? And when did you start? Was this something you started last year or 5 years ago?
So I've done 9 total. I did my first one probably 4 or 5 years ago. And obviously I learned something new with each one. And so like this Mentally Healthy Saints virtual summit, we were able to fundraise about $50,000 from this one virtual summit. So we're getting better at
the one that we're seeing now.
Yes.
The one that we saw here, that's one campaign, 50,000 from just this one.
Yep. And I think, let's see, the leads, and that generated almost 12,000 leads, that all came through, that thanks to the UpViral process and whatnot, that played a big role into it. So
amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. So from this campaign alone, from this virtual summit alone, 12,000 leads and $50,000 collected in donations, in revenue. Wow.
Yep. Yeah. Pretty good for a free virtual summit. So
congratulations, Kurt. That is not a small thing, 12,000 leads, $50,000 in revenue collected. That is an amazing achievement. So well done, seriously, from the whole UpViral team, not just myself, from the whole UpViral team. Congrats on your success. Super. And so 9 virtual summits in total. Do you know how many leads you've collected? Like taking into account the nine virtual summits you've done?
Yeah, good question. I would say, I guess I could scroll through the different virtual summits just on my UpViral dashboard, but we currently have about a email list of 30,000 emails. And, obviously that's some people unsubscribe over time or whatever, that you get that natural attrition. But I guess, everything from the very first one I used with UpViral, we got just over 5,000 leads. And then looks like we kind of averaged those 5,000 leads. I did a virtual summit in the end of March of 2020, right when like COVID just, hit the US. And so, and it was about a virtual summit about running meetings and how to effectively run meetings. And that was the last thing people wanted to listen to, when there's so much uncertainty in the world. So that one's probably my lowest performing one, but we may try and relaunch it in different form because the timing was just off. But yeah, and then 5 to 10,000 leads for each one. I would say, man, 30, 40,000 leads that we've generated through these virtual summits. So.
Yeah, 30 to 40,000 leads collected with UpViral, with all the summits combined. Do you know how much revenue collected in donations between the 9 summits?
Oh man, I would guess it's $250,000. I would guess so.
Wow, so summits do work for you.
yeah, we're gonna keep doing them, and we're in the works of putting together our next one, and so UpViral definitely part of that campaign as well. So
awesome, glad to hear. And what I love about virtual summits is that it is something that pretty much every business can do, right? So if you are, for example, like you are in the nonprofit space, and you organize a virtual summit with speakers. But if you are an agency, a marketing agency specialized in SEO, you could organize a virtual summit on everything about SEO. If you are like in the cooking business, you could organize a virtual summit about having the best chefs share their recipes on the virtual summit. So every type of business, whether you're an info product creator, an agency providing services, a nonprofit, a brick and mortar store, an e-commerce, every niche, every industry essentially can create a virtual summit. So that is the beauty of what we're sharing today. And Kurt,
yeah,
so
and I'll add to that, William, that like just the fact that we're a nonprofit, charity, you could say, we're a 501c3, and sometimes I feel like a lot of nonprofits feel like they're limited in some of their marketing efforts or fundraising, or they have to do the old fashioned, we're going to do like a charity dinner, right? And hopefully invite all of our rich uncles and pray that they write a check, but really that's not the case. You can do it. Like I said, exchanging value for value is a great way to fundraise for any nonprofit organization. And there are so many topics and things, no matter what your nonprofit is or what it's focused on, that can generate a lot of money. So I hope a lot of nonprofits, if they're listening, can realize there's a lot you can do using a tool like UpViral to fundraise. You don't have to do the old fashioned beg and plead and hope that people write checks for your nonprofit.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not in the nonprofit space, but I have seen multiple times that what they do to raise money is they organize events, right, where they accept donations, or things like that to raise money. So, and
I almost hate using the term nonprofit, because so many people have the misconception that means that nonprofit organizations can't make profit. Absolutely, there is revenue streams in nonprofits. That just means we're taxed differently by the IRS, right? So it's we're a charity or a tax exempt company, not necessarily a company that makes no profit. We make a lot of profit, obviously. So
yeah, absolutely. And going back to your campaign, the one that we just saw here for the virtual summit, Kurt, what do you think are the strongest points that made this whole campaign work so well?
Yeah, I guess I'm just always looking at other funnels or landing pages of other, like anytime I get marketed to on Facebook or another social media of some random virtual summit that's happening, I always sign up for free. I always go to it and I do screenshots of their pages. I look how they're using their copy. I look like,
that's good.
What's the next page they take me? That's right. And then when I do a new campaign, I'm creating new landing pages or funnels, I go to those and I say, okay, what do they do here? What can I mimic and whatnot? And so I sort of have this 3-page funnel that seems to work pretty well. A lot of virtual summits use it, and that general format. And so to me, it's just a natural fit, especially with UpViral, of offering value and giving them a chance to pay for it with money, and then following that up with, okay, you don't need to pay for it, but go share it, and that's good enough for us.
What's really interesting about your campaign as well is that when people get to the sharing section, they have gone through the upsell. So they know that the value of that all access pass is $79. They know that's not bullshit, right? because they just seen it. They were considering whether they were going to pay $79 for a donation, so they know it is the actual value. And if they want the all access pass, they've got to pay those $79. So because usually, it is seen in campaigns like share this with 3 friends and you get this bonus with a value of $200. If you share it to 10 friends, you unlock this other bonus, which has a value of $900. But those value amounts, sometimes they are perceived as inflated, right? Like a value stack in an offer. And with your campaign, it is not the case, because they've just gone through the upsell and they were considering whether doing a donation or not. They declined it, and now they have the opportunity to share and get it for free. I think that's very smart. That's really smart.
Yeah.
Super. Okay, and something else that I want to say about something that you mentioned, and it came to mind. I was at an event about like 6 months ago or so. It was a marketing event, and the host basically said like something that you just shared, right? Where you mentioned, when I am on Facebook and I see another event, like I sign up, I get their emails, I check their landing pages, I take screenshots, right? And essentially what you do is you become a collector. And I think that is how you become great at anything. You have to be, whatever it is that you want to master, you have to become a collector. So since then, I do a lot of email marketing, and I've become a collector of emails. So I have my email inbox has over 20,000 emails. I'm like part of like all the online gurus or people who are giving stuff to download for free. I'm in all their databases. My email address is there, and I get all of their emails, because that way I see what is working in the market, what seems to be working for them, what are they testing, so that we can then implement it too. And the same with funnels. So whenever I am, or with ads, right? When I'm scrolling through Instagram, I don't use Facebook as much personally, but when I'm scrolling on Instagram, I have a folder ready, where if I see a very creative ad and I'm like, hey, that is cool, we could do something like that, I basically hit that save button. I have a collection of ads, and then whenever we need to create new ads for UpViral, I just go to that folder, I scroll, and I have plenty of ideas. So whatever it is that you want to master, become a collector of that thing.
Yeah. And I've noticed that it's just easier, like when I'm starting a new campaign, if I'm just looking at a blank screen with a blinking cursor, like my creative mind shuts down, right? But if I have maybe a model or a format of how someone else did it, and I just start changing text and whatnot, then by the time I'm done with it, it looks like a completely different idea or campaign many times, but it just sort of helps me get going. And that can be really hard to get some momentum, a creative momentum, when you're putting a marketing campaign together, because it's sometimes a long haul.
Yeah. Study the market, find out what's working, and then rob and duplicate for your own industry, for your own products. Cool. So Kurt, so we talked about the entire campaign, like we saw the mechanics, and you've collected like 40,000 leads with UpViral doing this virtual summits. And you have that referral engine, right? Where people refer 5 others to get the all access pass. But we all know that without an initial stream of traffic and leads coming in, that referral engine doesn't flow, doesn't get activated. So what do you do to get an initial stream of traffic to your virtual summit?
Yeah, and this is where UpViral is so crucial for just the niche that I'm in, because a lot of people will say, well, Facebook ads are so powerful, or social media ads, like you can really target a specific audience. But many people know we're in the end of August of 2022, and it's getting a lot more tricky to do a marketing campaign and really zoom in on specific characteristics. Facebook's limiting some of those things or making it more difficult, especially I'm in the religious, the religious market, I guess you could say, where, I can't narrow as closely as I'd like, because I think now, and I have a marketing team that does this, so I'm not as familiar, but you can't even target specific religious affiliations, right? And that's really crucial for me, because I don't want a Catholic priest seeing my campaign or paying to see my campaign, because that he's not who are targeting. He would not benefit as much from the virtual summit, right? And so we can do some general targets and do some what do you call it? The similar audiences or whatever, and through Facebook.
Lookalike audiences.
Lookalike audience, thank you. And that works to some degree. And we'll do some light Facebook marketing, but a lot of it we are retargeting the people on my email list, so that not only do they see it in their inbox, but they see it on Facebook, and then do lookalike audiences from there, or people who have, come to our website, or people who've liked our page online and whatnot. And so that works to some degree, but with just the niche I'm in, it's very limited. And so that's why UpViral is so crucial for our marketing campaigns, is that I need those people who sign up to say, I know 5 people who would definitely benefit from this, and I'm going to send them that link, or I'm going to share this on Facebook because I know I'm friends with a lot of people who would benefit from this. So it really helps me market in a way that the algorithms just aren't built to help me, because, that maybe, I was selling something more general, I could maybe rely on those more. But so UpViral is crucial in that way, because it brings in the human experience of people saying, human beings being incentivized to go out and share that link with people they know would benefit from it. So did that answer your question?
Yeah, that answered the question. So, great. So it's basically it is true. I didn't think about that, but you made a really good point, where being in the religious space, you have to be right. Like, you have extra restrictions when it comes to ad policies and all that kind of stuff. So it's definitely trickier in your industry than it would be in other industries. I have here this folder with Cord has shared with me some of the ads that they were running on social media. So were you running just Facebook and Instagram ads, or do you also do YouTube ads, any other platform?
I'm pretty sure we were just doing Facebook and Instagram. So, and that's where, like, our demographic, if you're a church leader, like I said, I was asked to be a bishop of a congregation at the age of 28. And that's actually a lot younger than people are typically called. So usually people are church leaders anywhere from 35 years of age to 50. And just naturally that demographic, and I'd almost go up to 60. And typically it's easy to assume they have a Facebook account or an Instagram account. So we're trying some different things with TikTok right now, but our demographic just isn't on that currently, as far as we can tell. So.
All right. So Facebook and Instagram is then the focus. Do you happen to know, first, how much you invest for each of the virtual summits, and what is your average cost per lead to get someone to sign up?
Yeah, so this is where my marketing ability is limited, and I could probably figure that out, and I probably should, but I just don't, right? So, I mean, I would say we generally invest $4,000 or $5,000 now when we do as far as in marketing. Summit? For each summit we do. Obviously, it was different early on. But the thing is I know that with UpViral in place, I'm much more confident in investing marketing dollars in social media. And I have people that are much smaller than me, much smarter than me, who I hire to, put the campaigns together and do that. Cause my brain just isn't built for those numbers and those technicalities. So I let them do it, and they do the whole analysis. And then they say, they give me a recommendation. but yeah, we've usually invested $4,000 to $5,000 now in our most recent summits to do Facebook ads and whatnot. And we're always watching it. You know, they come back to me with reports, making sure that that we're getting you know, an ROI on that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, excellent. Okay, and then from those 4 to 5K that you invest, what is the typical amount you would get out in profits, in donations?
yeah, so like I said, this Mentally Healthy Saints one, we were able to raise about $50,000 in you know, donations and whatnot, and that's sort of seems like, and we've done one since then that was a little bit lower than that, but definitely in the price,
Yeah.
you know, in the fundraising range that made it well worth it. So
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I know so many people in the audience would love to spend like 4 or 5K on Facebook and Instagram ads and make 50K in return. That's a 10x ROAS. Like, not many Facebook advertisers get that. That's like definitely, I would say, at least like in the top 10%, and I would say maybe even in the top 2% as well.
And really, the way I see it is that I don't necessarily need to do Facebook ads, just because, you know, even if I didn't do it, obviously it would shrink the revenue. But really, as I do Facebook ads, I'm only interested, even if we just break even with the Facebook ads, because I know that each new lead, once I get them into the system, because of UpViral, they're going to be more likely to go out and share it, right? So it magnifies it even more that way. So
yeah, you're basically acquiring leads for free, essentially. As long as your campaign is break even, you're bringing in a pipeline, a new flood of potential donators, and for free, which is amazing. I just want to share here as well with everyone the social share image. So when someone actually grabs their link and goes to Facebook, goes to Facebook Messenger or WhatsApp, wherever it is, and they want to share it with their friends, this is basically the image that is displayed with this title, Mentally Healthy Saints Virtual Summit, watch for free. Okay, so it's clearly what it is that they get. So really very smart social share image that you've put together there as well, Kurt.
Yeah, and I like a part of that I love is that, you know, as people share it, you know, maybe they share it on Twitter, right? And a lot of times it'll automatically tag me, you know, in there. So I'll get these notifications of people going out there and sharing it. And I can tell it's the, you know, it's the sort of the canned text of that I've put into UpViral that they've just copied and pasted, which is fine. It sounds natural and it's great, but it's just so cool to see, like, man, I don't even know who that person is. And they're like out there, you know, drumming up sales for me. That's cool.
Yes. It's like having like a bunch, like hundreds or thousands, in your case, thousands and thousands of sales rep shouting out from Twitter, from Facebook, from Messenger, WhatsApp about your virtual summit. So you don't have to pay them commissions, which is even better. You give them
and let's say get the 5 free, and then I'll give them I pay them in access, right?
Absolutely. Kurt, a few final questions. The first one is, for the next virtual summit, are you planning to do anything differently, any new tests that you want to do, or are you at a point where you've done enough that you know this framework works and you're keeping it the same?
Yeah, I mean, we'll definitely at least do what we've been doing since we sort of have that in place. And that's the thing. Hopefully people find encouragement in this, like I mentioned earlier, but I can sit down and I've got friends and connections who are really smart marketers, and they're familiar with UpViral and using it and other things. And I can definitely sit down with them and they can show me 10 different ways that I could really, you know, do some more with UpViral or other tools, and you should do this and that and the other. And on paper, I'm like, oh, wow, yeah, you really should do that. But sometimes it's difficult in application when you're just trying to get this launch off the ground. And yeah, there's more I could do, but I'm at least going to do the bare minimum with, you know, with the UpViral link and whatnot. And so I try not to beat myself up too much when I know that could optimize it a little bit more, right? And of course, we try different things going forward, but I don't want to confuse the audience. I don't want to confuse those that come to the page with more bells and whistles. So, so sometimes I don't do optimize as much as I should, but I just tell myself, that's okay. These are very profitable campaigns, and I'll maybe add on a little bit, do a little bit different at each time and see what works. But, because I've done I think there's been 2 or 3 where I've done like a contest of like the person who shares the link the most or gets the most signups through their link will send you a gift basket or something like that. And those are maybe fun to do, but it does add on just a lot more work for something that, seems simple, but there's a lot more work that goes from it. So I try not to overwhelm myself with doing too much and optimizing it too much. And maybe I am leaving money on the table, but nonetheless, we're fundraising, we're hitting our goals, the way it goes. So to answer your question, I probably won't do too much different. Other than just making sure that, we're running it through UpViral so that they can go out and share the link and make it that much better. So.
Excellent. Super. Thank you so much. And I want to let everyone know as well that if you're interested in running a campaign, very, very similar to what Cord is explaining here, inside UpViral, so I'm right now inside one of our dummy accounts, you can click on, once you're inside your dashboard, you can click on Create New Campaign, then click on Use Campaign Templates. And then if you scroll down, you have the fill your event template, invite your friends, fill your webinar, workshop, event, or masterclass by incentivizing your registrants to refer others. So here you have a campaign template, very similar to what Kurt is describing here, that is available once you go inside UpViral. Okay, so if you feel motivated to start your own virtual summit, there you have the template ready for you. Okay, and Kurt, if people want to find out more about you and about Leading Saints, where do they go? Where can they find out more?
Yeah, so obviously leadingsaints.org. If you know a Latter-day Saint, maybe in your neighborhood or community, and you want to really impress them, you should go to them and say, "Hey, I heard this guy talk about this resource for Mormons like you. And oh yeah, and he told me to call you a Latter-day Saint. So I'll call you a Latter-day Saint right now." And you can send them to leadingsaints.org. Feel free to peruse around our landing pages or go ahead and sign up for free and do some screen captures and whatnot. Not that I've, cracked the code on any of this, but maybe you'll get some ideas. I was going to insert just best practice that I've learned is the sooner you set up your UpViral campaign and test it, the better. Like, yes. I've made the mistake sometime of like putting it all together like days before I'm launching my marketing effort, and then it's for some reason there's a link's wrong somewhere, or it's just not counting the leads, and it'll drive you mad. So test before you launch. Make sure it works. Make sure it's counting the points and the it's giving credit where credit's due, because I've had some places of a few days where it wasn't working, and I get emails like, "Hey, I should have my free pass by now. What's happening? What's going on?" And then they lose trust in you, and it's just a big headache. So test. But yeah, to go back to your original question, leadingsaints.org is a great place to land. And you can go to we have a podcast as well. You can hear sort of how we market through the podcast, and jump in, especially if you're a nonprofit. There's a place for you in the UpViral tool if you're a nonprofit. So do it.
Yeah, excellent. Super. And in a final question, in a few words, like what would you say about UpViral?
Man, UpViral's just take me to the next level. Made this so easy, and I will never do a online campaign without it. Super.
Kurt, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom about how Leading Saints is using virtual summits together with UpViral to accumulate, like you said, like $200,000, $250,000 in donations. So thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with the entire UpViral community. We highly, highly appreciate it. It's been a pleasure to have you here today. And yeah, we look forward to seeing you crushing it with UpViral, continue crushing it with the next virtual summits. Okay.
All right. Thanks, William.
Thank you, Kurt. Have a great day ahead. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Yep.